Edition News at 10 with Ann Gownley. Sports with Beth Mensinger. Meteorologist Joe Garbacik. And senior news analyst L.A. Tyrone.
The fourth suspect in a recent shooting in West Hazelton is now behind bars tonight, and it's our top story. Good evening. This is WYLN's Late Edition for Monday, October 21st, 2013. I'm Ann Gownley. A Hazelton man who was on the run from a shooting in September was arrested earlier tonight on drug charges. 18-year-old Anthony Vega was arrested earlier today in West Hazelton when police pulled him over for speeding on Horn Street. Police said they smelled marijuana when they made the traffic stop. Vega was held and charged for that when police realized he was also wanted for a September 8th shooting where Joshua Crutch was shot at 227 East Broad Street in the borough. He is one of 4 men involved in the shooting. We will have more information as Vega is being arraigned right now at District Magistrate Jamie Dixon's office. Another school shooting. One teacher is dead along with the shooter, a 13-year-old student. This one took place at Sparks Middle School in northern Nevada early this morning. The carnage has left 2 people dead and 2 boys in critical condition. Reports of shots came in around 7:15 a.m. A federal law enforcement officer said that the shooter took a handgun from his parents. Authorities declined to say whether the shooter died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. An evacuation took place at the middle school and the next-door elementary school. Classes were canceled for the day. Authorities said the shooter's motives was unclear. 21-year-old Juan Bourbon will be spending 8 to 16 years in a state prison after being convicted in connection with a machete attack outside GAR High School in Wilkes-Barre. Luzerne County Judge Joseph Sklarowski Jr. sentenced Bourbon this morning. Bourbon's attorney said that his client denies involvement in this horrific act. A jury found Bourbon guilty last month of 2 counts of aggravated assault and 2 counts of conspiracy. Prosecutors say Bourbon allegedly pulled a machete during a fight between feuding Dominican and black students on February 9th of 2012. Bourbon nearly chopped off the hand of a 10th grade student who was 15 at the time. Judge Glorowski said the crime Bourbon committed was, quote, an act of absolute senseless brutality, unquote. Bourbon's co-defendant Yancy Abreu testified in court that Bourbon was the attacker. Bourbon has been in custody since March of 2012 when he was picked up in New Jersey. The man accused of robbing 3 banks in the Hazelton area has pleaded guilty. 35-year-old Sean Luther Kelly of Hazelton pleaded guilty in federal court today. According to United States Attorney Peter J. Smith, Kelly admitted to robbing the PNC Bank in Hazel Township, the Choice One Community Federal Credit Union in Hazelton, and Citizens Bank in West Hazelton. All 3 robberies happened between April 16th and April 24th. Kelly was arrested shortly after the 3rd robbery. During the robbery at Citizens Bank, Kelly passed a note saying that he had a gun and wanted no tracking device. Kelly fled Citizens Bank with approximately $1,400. Kelly could face a maximum sentence of 60 years behind bars and a fine. Still no identity of a body recovered from the Susquehanna River Sunday morning in Hanover Township. But County Coroner Bill Listman says there was no criminal activity involved in the man's death. A fisherman called the authorities to report seeing a person in the river. Listman says dental records will be used to identify him. The body is of a white man in his 30s to 50s. Anyone with information is asked to call the Hanover Police Department at 570-825-1254. 2,000 bags of heroin, a large amount of crack cocaine, and drug paraphernalia has landed one man behind bars. 21-year-old Kenneth Evans of Wilkes-Barre was arrested Friday night after police recovered a large amount of drugs. In a total, around $45,000 worth of heroin was seized. The suspects were discovered leaving a home on Empire Street and then led police on a brief chase before being taken into custody. 29-year-old Anthony Scott, also of Wilkes-Barre, was taken into custody. A female juvenile runaway was involved in the arrest. She was then released to her family. Evans remains incarcerated at the Luzerne County Prison for lack of $30,000 bail. Added flood protection announced today in Wilkes-Barre. L.A. Tyrone has more.
This was the Brookside section of Wilkes-Barre in the floods of 2011. Now, Brookside isn't right on the river, and it was flooded mainly by Laurel Run Creek. The city says that will be a lot less likely to happen by the end of the month. That's because of new flood pumps being installed.
The residents here, we made a commitment to them that we would do what we had to do to upgrade the pumping system. The pumps are in excess of 30 years old. and we've been maintaining them over the years, but with the new pumps that we'll be putting in here, that will be installed, we're confident that it should prevent any future flooding here.
Layton says they will replace pumps installed here in the 70s and 80s. He said those old pumps didn't exactly fail 2 years ago, but didn't work as well as hoped for either.
The system did not fail in 2011, but the system just ran 24/7. We had historical river heights back then, which caused flooding here in the Brookside section of the city. These pumps will be, they're upgrades, they're better, they're more efficient, both energy-wise and for pumping the water out of the Brookside section. And we're confident that the installation of these 3 new pumps will help prevent future flooding here.
The city took a loan of $275,000 to pay for them, but Layton says the loan was part of a larger program, which he says will more than pay for itself.
The loan is repaid by the energy savings. This is part of an overall energy initiative that we took last year to ensure that the city of Wilkes-Barre is going green. It's also part of the project where we replace over 6,500 street light bulbs citywide with energy-efficient bulbs that is saving the city a significant amount of money. Over the next 2 decades, the city of Wilkes-Barre and its taxpayers will realize a savings of over $6 million through the energy savings through the project that we're doing today.
Work is getting started on those pump installations by the end of the week. Should be done by the end of the month. L.A. Tyrone, WILN's late edition.
Around 3:45 this afternoon, a car flipped over into the median of Interstate 80 eastbound near mile marker 274 in Kidder Township. There were injuries reported, but the extent of them are not known. The Kidder Township Fire Department and Whitehaven EMS and Fire responded to the scene. The left lane of Interstate 80 East was shut down for a period of time while the accident was being cleaned up. Also today around 2 o'clock this afternoon, a blue car flipped into the median. It happened near the mile marker 148 on Interstate 81 in Butler Township. Still no word from state police how the accident occurred or if there were any injuries. Traffic was slow moving in both directions until the accident was cleaned up. A 5K walk run in memory of Michael Balliet that takes place this weekend will help raise money to find a cure for pediatric brain cancer. Michael Balliet was like any other kid, fun-loving and full of life. Just last year, he and his family heard the words that would change their lives. Michael had a pediatric brain tumor. After Michael passed away, his mother, Betsy Walzer, wanted to spread the word about this deadly disease.
My son Michael passed away from diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, DIPG, which is a pediatric brain tumor. It only affects children, and it's pretty much fatal upon diagnosis. 90% of children die within 2 years.
Walzer said that's why she believes it's so important to bring the community together to spread the word.
I had never heard of this type of brain cancer, and apparently it's supposed to be rare, but everything that I've seen on Facebook, it happens more than we think, and there's been no advancements in cures within the last 30 years. So we really need to raise awareness and raise funds for research.
The event is called Race Against the Odds, a 5K walk and run in memory of Michael Balliet. It will take place this Saturday, October 26th at Valley Elementary School. Pre-registration is at 8:30 a.m. and the race begins at 9:30. It's only $20 to register and $25 the day of.
We are also going to have a raffle, several gift cards, everything we put together, jewelry, gift baskets. So the raffle tickets are $2 each or 3 for $5. So you can come and get some raffle tickets. And after the race, we're having an after-race party at Cousin Joe's in Cunningham, and they will donate part of their sales for the afternoon to the cause. And it's the Cure Starts Now Foundation, and it goes directly to pediatric brain cancer research.
There will also be t-shirts and bracelets available at the race, and all monies will go towards research.
Gray is the color for brain cancer awareness, and red was Michael's favorite color.
To pre-register for this Saturday's 5K, you can log on to www.raceagainsttheodds.com. Well, the Berwick community continues to reach out to one another in the fight against crime and drugs. Our Julie Stefanovich reports.
Tonight, the Berwick Anti-Drug Alliance held its monthly meeting at the McBride Library. The topic of discussion was Crime Watch and the community's involvement in the fight against crime. Leaders from area organizations and members of the Berwick Police Department came out to speak to local concerned citizens.
This is my first anti-drug alliance meeting. My role here tonight is to discuss the role of the Community Watch in helping to keep our community safe, helping to fight the drug problem that we have, that all communities have. Police cannot be everywhere. It's so important that people who live in the neighborhood to pay attention to what's going on in the neighborhood and don't be afraid to call the police. That's our biggest message that we put out at our Community Watch meetings.
I think I represent the community tonight, and really just as a whole, talking about our citizens and how they feel about the crime issue and how they can get involved and how they can help in their own way, in the community's way of addressing the crime issue. The feedback that I receive from our community is really the next directive of where I go. So it was the community that told us they wanted a community watch group, so we created a community watch group. It's the community that told us that they wanted a flyer about what to look for meth issues, and so we created that flyer. So really, we're taking our directive from this public.
Maxim Furyk is the head of the Alliance. He believes the more education neighborhoods receive, the stronger they can become on issues such as drugs, robberies, and other violent crimes.
We're dealing with an ongoing problem with drug users and drug dealers, and I believe that this is a juncture where everybody has to step forward and get involved and participate. And tonight is one of those community action groups, those ground swells where people will just go and hopefully encourage their friends and neighbors to also participate. So we need everyone's energies and participation to sort of beat this back.
The meetings are held on a monthly basis, with the next one slated for November 18th, in which the topic discussed will be drug court systems. Anyone interested in taking part can come to the library for a 6 o'clock start time. In Berwick, for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
President Obama spoke today about the glitches which have been plaguing the Affordable Health Care Act. Phil Doherty has more.
If you tried buying health insurance on healthcare.gov, you probably had trouble using the website. It's been plagued with glitches, and the administration has yet to figure them all out. President Obama addressed those glitches today during a news conference from the Rose Garden. He says the U.S. has teams working around the clock to get the website well running enough to meet demand.
There's no sugarcoating it. The website has been too slow. People have been getting stuck during the application process. And I think it's fair to say that nobody's more frustrated by that than I am. Precisely because the product is good. I want the cash registers to work. I want the checkout lines to be smooth. So I want people to be able to get this great product.
The administration says people have filled nearly 500,000 applications. More than half of that, though, comes from the 14 states that are running their own websites, not healthcare.gov. New York State alone accounts for more than a quarter of all applications, and it, too, has its own website.
That was INN's Phil Doherty. Speaking of computer glitches, they're also causing problems on a website used by high school seniors to apply to several colleges at once. Alina McAdoo has more.
And if it says forget your password.
Every time she's tried to log on to Common App this week,
and I enter my email and it says there's no account with this email.
Maria Voss says she's gotten an error message keeping her off the site.
When that happened, what did you think?
I was kind of in a panic zone because I wanted to get these deadlines. I had a few essays to finish writing. I had a few recommenders to send off, and I couldn't go on.
Common App is supposed to simplify the college application process by allowing students like Voss to use the same form to apply to several schools at once. Harvard, the California Institute of Technology, and Georgia Tech are among the more than 500 colleges and universities that use the nonprofit service. Just last year, Common App says it processed hundreds of thousands of applications. This year, the site has been plagued with technical glitches that are leaving some high school seniors desperate for answers.
There should be struggle when it comes to putting 4 years on a piece of paper, but to struggle with technical issues is somewhat difficult to explain to them.
Comments about the technical problems have flooded Common App's Facebook page. On Twitter, Common App users are venting. One person tweeted, "I'm never going to be able to apply to college," and included this image of the Common App site. Several universities are trying to ease anxiety by changing their early admissions deadlines. In Atlanta, Georgia Tech moved its early action deadline from October 15th to October 21st after being flooded with calls from concerned students.
We are not going to let technology punish a student for something that's outside of their control. If that means extending a deadline, we're going to do that.
On its Facebook page, Common App attributed some of the issues to, quote, a spike in activity. The organization says it is working to fix the glitches and offers suggestions for users having trouble.
It just worked. Oh. Okay then. I guess you guys are good luck.
Back in Atlanta, Voss was eventually able to log on in front of us, getting one step closer to submitting her college applications.
What do you think that moment's going to be like? Relief. Relief.
And that is a look at tonight's top stories. Time now to check in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbaczyk in the Bedrock Gardens Weather Center with the latest on these chilly temperatures. Joe?
Thanks very much, Ann. Definitely very chilly indeed across all of northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Add to that a little bit of a wind here in the backyard, and it's making it feel a little bit colder than what the actual air temperature indicates. Let's take a look at the national map, and you can clearly see that some changes are coming. We got some 50s, some 40s, but as you go toward Minneapolis as well as Bismarck and Chicago, temperatures are only in the 30s. That's an indication of some colder air on the move. I'll let you know how cold coming up next.
A winning smile. It's not the secret to success, but it sure helps. Protect your smile by visiting Dr. Weiss for complete dental services. Dr. Weiss offers a full-service denture laboratory on premises, offering dentures in one day. 3 dentists, 4 hygienists, and a team of caring technicians and assistants specializing in quality dentures and repairs, complete general dentistry, extractions, cleaning, and caps. Dr. Weiss, where you can have new dentures in one day.
Managing risk is more than just buying an insurance policy. At Dreyfus, our approach is different. We have 25 risk management professionals who have the tools and experience to help our clients avoid and survive unexpected events. We can help you with risk transfer, OSHA requirements, safe workplace, cybersecurity, and claims management. All of these go well beyond an insurance policy. We're also independent, so we can access dozens of insurance carriers like Grange Insurance, who can insure your auto, home, business, and life. Dreyfus Insurance since 1901 and Grange Insurance since 1935. We're committed to helping you manage risk.
Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. Come see for yourself. They have the freshest selection of meats, cheese, and produce. Baked goods made fresh on premises. They have an in-store butcher who is happy to accommodate your special orders. Be sure to stop in and check out their unadvertised specials. You'll find them throughout the store. See their flyer for weekly specials. Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. This week at Heritage, for every $40 spent in a single visit, get 1 dozen large eggs free.
Everyone knows Dan here at Heritage Hill. He's been devoted to our family of residents for over a decade. Experienced, nurturing, exceptional. It's what our care team is all about. Our residents enjoy personal care, homemade meals, day trips, clubs, and social activities. Shepherd's Garden, our memory care neighborhood, ensures a compassionate and secure environment. Come meet us. We're honored to share our hearts, our home, our heritage of caring. Heritage Hill Senior Community in Weatherly. Call today for your free personal tour.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. For chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and trophy trout fishermen, which is why we've built our new Discoverer AT3 for all traction, all terrain, all the time performance. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Cloud. In exchange for allowing casino gaming in Pennsylvania, residents were promised property tax relief. While some money has been shared, we're still waiting to feel the real benefits. This week, we will discuss the need for property tax reform with 2 outspoken advocates. You won't want to miss This Week on the Storm, only on WYLN TV 35.
don't have any frost advisories or freeze warnings to talk about at this 10 o'clock hour for tomorrow morning, but as we go into tomorrow night and the following morning and the mornings after that, that's going to be a different story as some much colder air definitely on the move across our region. Live 35 Skycast Doppler, nothing to show you from Wilkes-Barre through Scranton, through Berwick and Bloomsburg, Williamsport, and Lewisburg. At this point, all remaining areas across our area continue to be dry. 49 degrees are live Lehigh tire conditions outside our station in Hazleton. Pressure coming in at 29.88 inches of mercury. And there you can see the winds averaging anywhere between 5 to 15 miles per hour. Temperature-wise today, high temperatures actually weren't too bad for the most part, generally getting up into the 60s, but again, higher elevations struggling to make it out of the 50s. Temperature-wise right now, 49 in New Angola, 51 in Jim Thorpe, 51 in Berwick, 52 in Bloomsburg, 52 degrees in Danville, and 48 degrees in Monroe City. Satellite and radar, things looking pretty good across the northeast, increasing clouds toward northwestern Pennsylvania, leading edge of some rain as you head out toward the Ohio Valley region. Skycast precipitation and clouds. We'll start to bring in some of those clouds into our area. And if you notice that strip of rain as it made its way and continues to make its way toward the south and east, it basically starts to fizzle out, but we'll keep the threat of a couple of sprinkles in our forecast for tomorrow morning, maybe again tomorrow night, and even as we start going into Wednesday, may have to deal with a few sprinkles, but boy, it's going to get downright chilly across our area. It won't get out of the 50s heading into tomorrow, and as we go into tomorrow night, look at those numbers dropping down into the 30s, and then as we go into our Wednesday to noontime hour, temperatures only in the 40s to near 50 degrees. So another front comes through, and as it comes through, it brings in some much colder air. Ahead of the front, though, still going to be mild, but that's going to be mild weather will be far toward the east. We're going to be looking at the cooler, brisk conditions as we go through the rest of this week. So again, 40s will do it tonight. So we're going to not have to deal with any type of frost or freeze warnings out there tonight because of that. Those temperatures staying above the freezing level. Notice though tomorrow statewide 50s to near 60 degrees. A couple of sprinkles out there, maybe. But that's pretty much about it. Really not expecting anything significant. Extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys, a division of Arc Electric. And then only in the lower 40s for daytime highs. Look at those overnight lows. Lower 30s, maybe some upper 20s out there. And then getting back up into the 50s, but not until early next week. Our evening Pennsylvania lottery numbers, a daily 171, the big 4, 0749. Quinto numbers 28569, cash 5, 420, 23, 26, and 42. Back to you. Oh, no, wait, we go back.
Join the American Cancer Society October 27th for the Survivor Runway Spooktacular from 1 to 3 p.m. at the top of the 80s. All proceeds from the event will benefit the Look Good, Feel Better program, providing wigs to cancer patients. Join them for fun and fashion. There'll be a tricky tray, door prizes, celebrity guest bartenders, and State Representative Tara Toohill will join both patient and caregiver models in showcasing some of the season's high fashion. Light refreshments and a cash bar will be available. Bring a friend and take a Sunday afternoon to help the American Cancer Society and the Look Good, Feel Better program.
For all your projects, large and small, Bedrock Gardens has it all. They are fully stocked and ready to fill your order. Rubber mulch and rubber curbing to match. Lots of color choices to pick from. Wall stone, natural stone, full pallets ready to go. Their bins are full with rich colored quality mulch that will look wonderful all season long. Finish off your fabulous outdoor space with their quality patio furniture and easy to assemble fire pits. Everything you need for your summer projects. Delivery available or just stop by and they will load you up. Bedrock Gardens, locally owned and operated. Call today.
Hi everybody, this is Richie Molinaro, Marketing Director for Fairway Chevrolet in Hazleton. Since Berwick Chevrolet is no longer an authorized Chevrolet dealer, I'd like to personally invite you to join our Fairway family. We'll provide you with the utmost courtesy from Chevrolet sales, service, and parts to our state-of-the-art body shop and auto spot. We have over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock. We're the #1 commercial truck and business elite dealer in Pennsylvania, and we would be honored to be your Chevrolet dealer.
Why should you visit Penn State Hazleton?
Because if you come to our Penn State Day open house, there's no application fee. We have fun.
We have the Lion.
We have new scholarship money.
Students are scoring internships
All over the country. Penn State is ranked number 1.
by corporate recruiters.
And this is your chance to see campus, talk to students, meet professors, and check out everything Penn State has to offer.
Penn State Hazleton.
Check us out at psu.edu/visit Hazleton.
Award-winning children's recording artist Laurie Berkner will bring her music to Hazleton when the Laurie Berkner Band performs at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle on Saturday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Doors open at 12:30. Tickets may be purchased through wiltseycenter.org or at Ticketmaster retail outlets including select Boscov's and Walmart locations. The Laurie Berkner Band, November 23rd at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle. WYLN, your first choice for locally produced shows like Chef Lou, Jen-tastic Sweets, Off the Beaten Path, The Storm, and more. Find out how you can stretch your advertising dollars and be a part of the WYLN TV lineup. Call 570-459-1869, extension 1302. WYLN, we're your local network.
Another game under their belts, and the Huskies have held on to their spot as they are ranked number 6 in the American Football Coaches Association Top 25. The Bloomsburg University squad faced off with the Warriors of East Stroudsburg on Saturday and moved to 7-0 on the year with their 52-38 victory. It's their third straight year this far without a loss, going to 7 wins without a loss in their 15th straight season with at least 7 wins, and that is a PSAC record. The Huskies face Cheney, a team looking for their first win this coming Saturday. The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins played 3 games in 3 days this weekend, winning on Friday and Saturday. Yesterday, the Pens played in Manchester, New Hampshire, and faced another unbeaten squad in the Monarchs. First period, big saves by Penn goalie Jeff Delaurier, and the Penguins get on the board first here by a pass from behind the goal by Brian Gibbons. Bounces past the Monarchs goalkeeper Jeff-Francois Berube. Pens have the 1-0 advantage. Gibbons was playing huge for the Pens so far this season, scoring points in nearly every game, but not in the next possession. Berube with the shot, with the quick hands, and the shot saved. Still in the first period, just over 90 seconds left before the intermission. Sean Backman next with the puck for the Monarchs. He evens it up at once with the assist from Andy Andrioff. Now let's go to the second. It will be.
And the Monarchs have tied the game at 1 apiece. To Shore
Now we'll go to the second, and it's another glove save right here by Penn's Delaurier. He had a big night in between the posts. That save giving the Pens some momentum. Brian Gibbons again in on the fun. He pops out of the penalty box, picks up the loose puck, and finds Andrew Edit. A backhand shot and a score there. 2-1 Pens. 10 minutes later in the second, Monarchs will strike again. It will be their second goal of the night, and they tie it up this time during a power play off the stick of Andrew Bednarczyk.
Shot a laser by Jeff Delaurier, and the Monarchs have tied it at 2. We've seen the skating.
It's the third period now. Score is 2-2 Pens puck. Mike Carmen. He'll pass to Gibbons, who is right in front of the net. The shot perfectly placed by the center, splitting the post for the 3-2 lead. And about a minute and a half later, it's a battle of the Delauriers, and Nick Delaurier of the Monarchs will score over Jeff Delaurier, forcing the overtime period. But the Pens will prevail and win it in just 22 seconds into that overtime. Gibbons had a career best 4 points in the game. They move on to 6-0 with their 3-2 win. Stay tuned, and Gowney's coming back next.
Hi, sir. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Can I just get your name for our mailing list?
Yeah, sure. Smitty Jones.
Is that the same Smitty Jones that lives at 1 Phillips Street?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't complete this transaction.
What do you mean? I'm just buying a candy bar.
Unfortunately, your credit score is too low.
What do you mean? I'm paying cash.
Sir, I'm going to need you to settle down.
Listen, I'm not freaking out.
Security!
Come on.
Clean up. Check out 15. Clean up.
Even if your credit is this bad, we can still help. Penn Financial Group. We stop foreclosures, stop sheriff sales, reduce or eliminate your debt, and improve your credit rating, guaranteed. Call us today for a free consultation. Penn Financial Group. Get credit happy.
Third Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
WILN TV 35, first in live sports.
Hi, I'm Ron Jaworski. For the best in local TV sports, watch WILN TV 35.
WILN TV 35 has it covered.
Hi, my name is Vince Papelli. I'm a former Philadelphia Eagle wide receiver and special teams guy, and for local sports coverage, I watch only WILN 35.
WILN TV 35, the event, not just the highlights.
Recapping tonight's top stories, a Hazleton man who was on the run from a shooting in September was arrested earlier tonight on drug charges. 18-year-old Anthony Vega was arrested earlier today in West Hazleton when police pulled him over for speeding on Horn Street. Police said they smelled marijuana when they made the traffic stop. Vega was held and charged for that when police realized that he was also wanted for a September 8th shooting where Joshua Crutch was shot at 227 East Broad Street in the borough. He is one of 4 men involved in the shooting. We will have more information as Vega is being arraigned right now at District Magistrate Jamie Dixon's office. Another school shooting. One teacher is dead along with the shooter, a 13-year-old student. This one took place at Sparks Middle School in northern Nevada early this morning. The carnage has left 2 people dead and 2 boys in critical condition. Reports of shots came in around 7:15 a.m. A federal law enforcement officer said that the shooter took a handgun from his parents. Authorities declined to say whether the shooter died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. An evacuation took place at the middle school and the next door elementary school. Classes were canceled for the day. Authorities said the shooter's motive was unclear. 21-year-old Juan Bourbon will spend next 8 to 16 years in a state prison after being convicted in connection with a machete attack outside GAR High School in Wilkes-Barre. Luzerne County Judge Joseph Sklarowski Jr. sentenced Bourbon this morning. Bourbon's attorney said that his client denies involvement in this horrific act. A jury found him guilty last month of 2 counts of aggravated assault and 2 counts of conspiracy. Prosecutors say that he allegedly pulled a machete during a fight between feuding Dominican and black students on February 9th of 2012. Bourbon nearly chopped off the hand of a 10th grade student who was 15 at the time. Judge Sklarowski said the crime that he committed was a, quote, act of absolute senseless brutality, unquote. Bourbon's co-defendant, Yancy Abreu, testified in court that Bourbon was the attacker. He has been in custody since March of 2012 when he was picked up in New Jersey. The man accused of robbing 3 banks in the Hazleton area has pleaded guilty. 35-year-old Sean Luther Kelly of Hazleton pleaded guilty in federal court today. According to United States Attorney Peter J. Smith, Kelly admitted to robbing the PNC Bank in Hazel Township, the Choice One Community Federal Credit Union in Hazleton, and Citizens Bank in West Hazleton. All 3 robberies happened between April 16th and April 24th. Kelly was arrested shortly after the 3rd robbery. During that robbery at Citizens Bank, Kelly passed a note saying that he had a gun and wanted no tracking device. Kelly fled the Citizens Bank with approximately $1,400. Kelly could face a maximum sentence of 60 years behind bars and a fine. 2,000 bags of heroin, a large amount of crack cocaine, and drug paraphernalia has landed 1 man behind bars. 21-year-old Kenneth Evans of Wilkes-Barre was arrested Friday night after police recovered a large amount of drugs. In total, around $45,000 worth of heroin was seized. The suspects were discovered leaving a home on Empire Street and then led police on a brief chase before being taken into custody. 29-year-old Anthony Scott, also of Wilkes-Barre, was taken into custody. A female juvenile runaway was involved in the arrest. She was then released to her family. Evans remains incarcerated at the Luzerne County Prison for lack of $30,000 bail. Added flood protection announced today in Wilkes-Barre. LA Tyrone has more. We'll have that story in just 1 minute for you.
This was the Brookside section of Wilkes-Barre in the floods of 2011. Now, Brookside isn't right on the river, and it was flooded mainly by Laurel Run Creek. The city says that will be a lot less likely to happen by the end of the month. That's because of new flood pumps being installed.
The residents here, we made a commitment to them that we would do what we had to do to upgrade the pumping system. The pumps are in excess of 30 years old, and we've been maintaining them over the years, but with the new pumps that we'll be putting in here that will be installed, we're confident that it should prevent any future flooding here.
Layton says they will replace pumps installed here in the 70s and 80s. He said those old pumps didn't exactly fail 2 years ago, but didn't work as well as hoped for either.
The system did not fail in 2011, but the system just ran 24/7. We had historical river heights back then, which caused flooding here in the Brookside section of the city. These pumps will be, they're upgrades, they're better, they're more efficient, both energy-wise and for pumping the water out of the Brookside section. And we're confident that the installation of these 3 new pumps will help prevent future flooding here.
The city took a loan of $275,000 to pay for them, but Layton says the loan was part of a larger program, which he says will more than pay for itself.
The loan is repaid by the energy savings. This is part of an overall energy initiative that we took last year to ensure that the city of Wilkes-Barre is going green. It's also part of the project where we replace over 6,500 street light bulbs citywide with energy-efficient bulbs that is saving the city a significant amount of money. Over the next 2 decades, the city of Wilkes-Barre and its taxpayers will realize a savings of over $6 million through the energy savings through the project that we're doing today.
Work is getting started on those pump installations by the end of the week. Should be done by the end of the month. LA Tyrone, WYLN's late edition.
A 5K walk run in memory of Michael Balliet that takes place this weekend will help raise money to find a cure for pediatric brain cancer. Michael Balliet was like any other kid, fun-loving and full of life. Just last year, he and his family heard the words that would change their lives. Michael had a pediatric brain tumor. After Michael passed away, his mother, Betsy Walzer, wanted to spread the word about this deadly disease.
My son Michael passed away from diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, DIPG, which is a pediatric brain tumor. It only affects children, and it's pretty much fatal upon diagnosis. 90% of children die within 2 years.
Walzer said that's why she believes it's so important to bring the community together to spread the word.
I had never heard of this type of brain cancer, and apparently it's supposed to be rare, but everything that I've seen on Facebook, it happens more than we think, and there's been no advancements in cures within the last 30 years. So we really need to raise awareness and raise funds for research.
The event is called Race Against the Odds, a 5K walk and run in memory of Michael Balliet. It will take place this Saturday, October 26th at Valley Elementary School. Pre-registration is at 8:30 a.m. and the race begins at 9:30. It's only $20 to register and $25 the day of.
We are also going to have a raffle. I have several gift cards, everything we put together, jewelry, gift baskets. So the raffle tickets are $2 each or 3 for $5. So you can come and get some raffle tickets. And after the race, we're having an after-race party at Cousin Joe's in Cunningham, and they will donate part of their sales for the afternoon to the cause. And it's the Cure Starts Now Foundation, and it goes directly to pediatric brain cancer research.
There will also be t-shirts and bracelets available at the race, and all monies will go towards research.
Gray is the color for brain cancer awareness, and red was Michael's favorite color.
To pre-register for this Saturday's 5K, you can log on to www.raceagainsttheodds.com. Hi, welcome back. I am now joined by our senior news analyst, L.A. Tyrone. L.A.
Ms. Gownley, good evening.
Good evening. Let's first talk about Mayor Layton today up in Wilkes-Barre.
The flood pumps. Those flood pumps, the ones that they're replacing, like you said, they were put in the 70s or the 80s. Now, the Brookside section this is like by Hollenbach Park, Brookside Street. It's not right on the river. So it doesn't usually get flooded by the Susquehanna River when there is a flood. But as we saw in 2011, that's mainly, there's Laurel Run Creek that runs through it. It also runs through a part of Parsons, and there's another creek that comes down in it. So they do have flooding problems there, and the idea behind this was to replace the pumps. He said they didn't fail, but they kind of did, because you saw, remember, we were shooting with the boats floating around and all that. Right,
it was a horrific flood for a lot of those people.
Yeah, and him saying this is part of the overall green energy thing. When he says energy efficient light bulbs, Wilkes-Barre's doing what Hazleton is doing, and that is replacing the street lights with LED lights. And LED lights are expensive to buy, but they use virtually no power. So over the long run, they will save you a ton. It's a very good move to do that. The only problem they find with LED lights, and it's kind of a goofy problem, is that in the snow and the ice, red lights with old incandescent lights, they get hot and they melt the snow off. The LEDs don't.
Oh,
so you got to get somebody able to brush what's knock the snow
fun.
off, but it's a minor thing. You should save a lot of money over
We can all start doing it. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. Speaking of spending that money on the lights and working on this water, we're talking budget. I know you wanted to talk about that. We weren't able to last time.
Yeah, we were planning on talking about it Thursday or Friday, but other important things came up. But the administration has redone a number of outstanding loans. Now, you can get in trouble. This has been done.
We're talking
Wilkes-Barre, where you float bonds to pay bonds that are floated, and you can really get burned. Every once in a while it works that when you refinance, you take advantage of lower interest rates and you can actually make money. Well, whether by chance or by design, Wilkes-Barre did that. And when they floated a bunch of outstanding bonds, they came up with about $2.5 million. That's how he was looking to hire 10 new cops and a number of other things. Gave 3% raises across the board, including himself, and of course he's getting hammered for that. But it actually worked this time, and obviously Wilkes-Barre could use the 10 additional police officers.
Absolutely.
11 murders in 10 months and a bunch of other shootings. So in this case, refinancing the bonds did work. It doesn't always, but it did this time, so it was a good move.
Just coming back down here to Hazleton, I know we just talked before about Sean Kelly, the bank robber, pleaded guilty.
Yeah,
is that something that a lot of...
I don't think that was a big surprise. I mean, I remember the afternoon that happened, that two of those happened, because the one was the credit union on 20th Street, and you might remember he was captured by the old bar on
he was captured after
Street.
the Citizens Bank robbery.
Yeah, and they were pinging his phone that day, and he was seen at the Churchill Mall and all this other stuff and everything. He pretty much had him dead to rights. I don't think it's a great surprise that he pleaded guilty, but he is looking at probably a longer sentence than he realized.
The 60 years is the maximum, and that could be on only one charge of the bank. I mean, he's got 3 banks that he's robbed and a significant amount of money with the gun, and that's the other problem.
The gun really hurt. I know the one that was like $1,400. I don't think as a whole if he got $3,000 and all of that. So bank robbery is not a crime you're going to get away with.
Right. Well, you got pictures,
you always get caught. And bank robbery is also a federal crime in most instances. So when that happens, now you're looking at an even longer stint. So if you're planning on robbing a bank, don't do it. Because you're going to get caught and you're going to go to jail for a very long time.
Listen, I listen to you all the time, so you should probably listen to L.A. Tyrone. Well, or something like that. Thank you very much. Right. I appreciate it. Much more with L.A. Tyrone when more news comes in and you need to talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Coming up next, Beth is in with sports, but first let's check back in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacic. Joe?
Well, thank you very much. Well, it continues to be very chilly here in the backyard. It's even going to get more chillier over the next couple of nights. as some colder air is on the move across northeastern and central Pennsylvania. And we're dry right now, but that may not be the case through tonight and tomorrow. May have to deal with a couple of sprinkles. Here's a look at the live 35 Skycast Doppler. Not looking bad across the northeast. A little bit of some rain toward northwestern Pennsylvania. The complete 7-day forecast coming up in a few.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi Electric, Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
As a diabetic, where do I turn for the special healthcare products and advice I need?
Come into your nearby Good Neighbor Pharmacy. We specialize in the unique concerns and needs you have as a diabetic patient. Your Good Neighbor pharmacist has a fully trained staff, stocks a broad selection of the products you need, and takes a personal interest in your health and well-being.
What do you see? Perhaps you're noticing the rusted fender or the dented side panel. Maybe the first thing your eye goes to is the worn interior. But look closer and you'll see something else. Value. At Harry's U-Pull-It, we see value in your old car and so will others. It's the reason we offer top dollar for your car. Junker, clunker, piece of tin, your car may have many names, but at Harry's, there's only one that matters. Value. Visit one of our 3 locations today in Hazleton, Pennsburg, and Allentown.
It's Octoberger, the sale's so big they named a month after it. At Berger, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Hazleton.
Hi, Jim Kennedy, Berger Family Dealerships. Experience Buick with a 2014 Buick Verano, 24-month lease for only $219 a month, or the 2014 GMC Sierra, all new, lease it 36 months for only $339.
It's Octoberger at Berger Cadillac Buick GMC, just off I-81, exit 145, Route 93 in Hazleton. Drive with experience.
All Care Home Care, the health care that you need in the comfort and privacy of your own home.
At All Care Home Care, our caring and compassionate staff of skilled nurses, occupational, speech, physical therapists, dietitian, social worker, and home health aides will give you the professional care you need. Call 459-3002.
With All Care Home Care, you will feel so much better and be able to do so much more.
Remember, it's still your choice. For your care, call us and we'll be there.
Off the Beaten Path is a half-hour program that showcases interesting and unique people, places, and things in Pennsylvania. Hosted by Jeff Bonomo, Brian Bromley, and Ken Cara, Off the Beaten Path is fast-paced, light-hearted, and sometimes even downright funny. Each show, we travel to many destinations in Pennsylvania, including restaurants, events, unique landmarks, and we talk with interesting people. So come with us off the Beaten Path.
After getting his second start on Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys, Eagles quarterback Nick Foles may be sidelined with a concussion for their next game. Foles, who started the past 2 weeks, left early in yesterday's 17-3 loss, and rookie Matt Barkley took over the reins. Both Foles and Barkley had struggles, Foles going 11 for 29 for 80 yards and 3 sacks. Barkley completed 11 out of 20 for 129 yards and 3 interceptions. Foles will have to go through mandatory testing in order to be cleared for play. No word who will be taking snaps on Sunday as the Eagles face the Giants for the second time this season, as Mike Vick is still out with a hamstring injury. And Foles isn't the only NFL player injured after Sunday's games. Tonight, ESPN is reporting tight end for the Packers, Jermichael Finley, is still in the hospital after suffering a bruised spinal cord in his neck. Green Bay coach Mike McCarthy said it is a significant injury, but he is up performing daily activities and is in good spirits. The Indianapolis Colts also lost All-Star Reggie Wayne for what many are saying is for the season after last night's win over the Broncos. He tore
his ACL in his right knee in last night's fourth quarter. The Texans lost Arian Foster. He pulled his hamstring in Houston's 1-point loss to Andy Reid's undefeated Chiefs. And Chicago Bears quarterback Jay Cutler will also be out for a few weeks with a tear in his groin. It was announced today after he had an MRI. Bears linebacker Lance Briggs will also be out for about 4 weeks with a shoulder injury. Sad news in the Tennessee Titans organization. Owner Bud Adams has died. Adams helped found the American Football League and was also a big proponent of the merger with the NFL. As owner, his franchise made 21 playoff appearances in over 50 seasons. The Titans were formerly the Houston Oilers. The team announced today Adams passed away peacefully from natural causes. He was 90 years old. And Alan Stanley has also passed away. The Hall of Fame defenseman played in the NHL for 22 years and won 4 Stanley Cups with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He also had time on the ice with the Flyers and was inducted into Hockey's Hall of Fame in 1981. Stanley recorded 100 goals and 333 assists in over 1,200 regular season NHL games. He was 87 years old. And the Boston Red Sox are moving on to their first World Series since 2004 with their 5-2 win over the Detroit Tigers on Saturday night. The Sox were propelled late in the game by right fielder and former Philly Shane Victorino and his high-flying grand slam. Victorino was quite excited Saturday night, to say the least.
Obviously, the first thought was get enough air to tie the game, and then it got to the point where I felt like, wow, this could get up over the wall, and I mean, all the emotions went through my mind, and obviously seen it, and you know, no disrespect, and I would never be one of those guys, and you know, if guys took it wrong, but you know, I was definitely excited when I ran around the bases. You know, the pounding of my chest. I've always been that kind of guy that I've always not, you know, I've never, I don't like, you know, when teams show that kind of emotions, but and I hope they understand it was a special moment, you know, for me, for the city, and you know, no disrespect. Again, the guys across the way, we play the Tigers. I mean, I respect those guys like no other. I mean, the staff, everybody. I mean, it was a special moment. And, you know, like I said, no disrespect to them, but, you know, this was a battle to the end.
Good all series. We had a couple of blunders tonight, but it was a tough series. I want to congratulate the Boston Red Sox, John Farrell, Ben Cherington, their players. They deserve to be the representative. They beat us. And I wish them the best. But they played very well, and there was a lot of good games. We just, like I said, collectively, starting with me, the coaches, players, we just didn't do quite enough.
The Red Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals will face off Wednesday night at Fenway Park in Boston for Game 1 of the World Series. And that manager for the Detroit Tigers that you saw right there, he announced he's stepping down today. Jim Leyland, who led the Tigers to a great postseason this year, was the skipper for 8 years, winning 3 division titles and 2 American League championships. The 68-year-old debuted as manager for the Pirates in 1986 and coached the Marlins and the Rockies throughout his 22-year career. Reports say Leyland told Tigers GM Dave Dombrowski he wasn't coming back in September. There's no word what he'll be doing next, but Leyland said he plans to stay with the Tigers in some capacity. We do have a few games on our national scoreboard tonight. Let's start with Monday Night Football. It's 2 of the worst teams in the NFL so far this year. The Minnesota Vikings at 1-4, the New York Giants, 6 losses, no wins. Giants have the 10-7 lead there in the third. They took the lead after a second quarter, 3.5-minute, 7-play, 82-yard drive capped off by a 24-yard Ruben Randall touchdown reception. And in the NHL, in a shootout, the Sharks win over Detroit 1-0. The Avalanche shut out the Pittsburgh Penguins 1-0. And in the third, it's scoreless between Calgary and Los Angeles. Stay tuned. Joe's back with more weather after the break.
Buy it at Barber Ford. It's a cut above the rest. Buy it at Barber Ford. Honest people where the deals are the best. Now is the time. Barber Ford is the place. The best cause I hear there's no mistake. You can't buy better. You can't buy better than Barber Ford.
Barber Ford, Route 309 in Hazleton and on Route 11 in Exeter. The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated at 542 North Wyoming Street in Hazleton, serving the greater Hazleton area since 1890 and still family owned and operated, offers convenient parking, handicapped accessibility, seating for over 150 people, casket, cremation product showrooms to accommodate traditional, cremation, and pre-planned funerals. The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated, 570-454-3341.
What you sleep on can change your life. It affects how you feel, your relationships, how you perform. Let the folks at Grand Central custom fit the right sleeping surface just for you. Get free interest for 36 months, free delivery, free removal, free bed frame, plus a free furniture gift card on Sealy Posturepedic hybrids and Optimum bedding. Be custom fit. Get lots of freebies. Everybody shops Grand Central. Shouldn't you?
During these changing times, is your insurance program up to date? I'm local Allstate agent Gary McNeilis. I invite you to come into our office or give us a call. We'll help you be sure that you have the proper coverage to take care of all your family's needs at a price you can afford. Now more than ever, you need to be in good hands to protect everything that's important to you. Our team of insurance professionals and I will be honored to serve you. Are you in good hands?
Award-winning children's recording artist Laurie Berkner will bring her music to Hazleton when the Laurie Berkner Band performs at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle on Saturday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Doors open at 12:30. Tickets may be purchased through wiltseycenter.org or at Ticketmaster retail outlets including select Boscov's and Walmart locations. The Laurie Berkner Band, November 23rd at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, our guest is Dr. Mita Pancholi, and her new practice is located in Northeast PT Associates, across from Dr. John's office. And we'll be talking about her practice only on Let's Talk Chiropractic on WYLN TV 35.
As I showed you before, we are dry across our area right now. Maybe a few sprinkles going into tomorrow morning, but other than that, really not expecting anything significant. But significant was two named storms. Going back in time, these are the two most intense storms that have been out there. Hurricane Wilma back in 2005, very, very low pressure, 882 millibars. 185 mile per hour winds, and it was the smallest known eye for an Atlantic hurricane. The eye is actually the area of the hurricane that is very calm. There's really nothing going on. And out there in the Pacific is Typhoon Tip in 1979, very low pressure, and it was the largest typhoon. Take a look at that astonishing statistic. It was 1,380 miles wide. Our live Lehigh Tire conditions outside our station in Hazleton, 48 degrees, pressure coming in at 29.89 inches of mercury. Temperature-wise, you could see generally 50s and 40s. There's actually a frontal boundary right out here. You can see this cool pocket of air. In fact, we can call it chilly. It's only 33 in Bismarck. Is at the freezing point in Minneapolis. That's an indication of where that colder air is. That's that front. That's going to head in our direction. And before all is said and done, we're going to be looking at some of the overnight lows in the 20s and 30s. Satellite and radar, increasing clouds as you head toward western and northwestern PA. A little bit of some rain out there over the Great Lakes as well as the Erie region. But for our area, things not looking too bad. And I think as we head through tonight, doesn't look too bad. May have to deal with a couple of sprinkles as we head through tonight and early tomorrow morning. And then not looking too bad. And then after that, things shaping up to be quite chilly across our area as we progress through the rest of this week. The front will have passed our area, and then that's going to bring in some much colder air for the rest of this week. Extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys, division of Arc Electric. Here's what we can expect over the next few days. Well, it's going to be chilly. Temperatures below where we should be for this time of year. Only in the lower 40s for some of those daytime highs and some of those overnight lows in the 20s to near 30 degrees. So yes, it will be an end to the growing season, unfortunately. But at least we managed to survive through most of October. November's around the corner already. Can you believe it? I can't.
It's okay. Thanksgiving's only like
November's a good
6
month.
weeks away. November is a very good
It's a
month.
really good month.
Really?
Probably because we're both born in November.
Okay.
Many and LA and Kenny
Yeah.
was and Mike.
Yes.
We all are in November, so just
Lucky you.
It's our month.
yeah. You're not. That's okay.
No, I'm not.
We did learn something new tonight. Now,
And what was that?
usually when you hear the eye of the storm, you think that is the part where everything's going
bad.
crazy.
We both
But-
said it. I thought it was like a
You did
pun
not
or
know that?
something. No, we
Oh,
thought it was
seriously?
the worst part of the
okay, so
storm.
I taught you
We
something
did. I just said to Beth, I was like,
I just
so
don't
just
understand.
taught us something today. Why? I thought that was. Don't they use it as like a pun or something?
No,
In
no,
your
it's
weather
actually-
world?
no,
You've
no,
never
not at
heard
all.
anyone say it was like the eye of the storm.
It's the calm part of it, yes.
Crazy. I had to double check on my phone because I was going to make fun of him if he was wrong. But I doubt the
Joke's on us.
meteorologist, yes, and the joke is on us.
It's
So
okay. We'll
thank
take
you,
it
Joe,
once in a
for
while. We'll get
enlightening us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Not a problem. That's what I'm here for.
All right.
I think-
Much more from us here tomorrow night at 10 on Late Edition. And don't forget 5:30, Topic A tomorrow. We'll see you all then. Bye-bye.